Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's intro, live from Michigan, Ohio.
The live from the basement before the other staircase that leads to hell.
It's a pretty laid-back show this evening.
Yeah.
We watched a movie, and then we started the podcast, and we talked about the movie we watched, which was... Actually, why don't you just wait and see what it was?
Because it's coming up here in a second.
So we talked about a movie. We talked a little bit about our recording this week, what we've been up to outside of recording, and what we might get into when we start touring, what life on the road with Superdivorce is going to be like.
Yeah, some premonitions, some forward thinking here during this cast.
So it's a little bit more of an abbreviated show this week, a semi-sleepy cast, because getting late tonight and we have lots to do tomorrow, but we're still here, still making it happen. So enjoy what we do have lined up for you, and also get in touch with us on the internet, of course, at our official site, our mother base, superdivorceme.com, facebook.com/superdivorce, Twitter at superdivorce, Instagram at superdivorceband. If you want to contact me on the internet anywhere, you can check. You can give it a try at Nicholas Villars.
And you can follow me on Instagram at BenderButt.
And that's about it. So here's another program for you.
Enjoy, chefs.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
What's up, chefs? Welcome to the Superdivorce Supercast. Nicholas here.
And Bender.
This is another episode coming at you live from the Hotel Bauer up here in Michigan. And Bender and I just got done watching a movie.
A rental movie.
Yeah, we went to Family Video right down the road, and we did the whole thing. We browsed. We probably looked through every movie in the store.
Yeah.
Except for like the kids section.
Right. But
yeah, we looked through all the new releases and all of the old movies, and we ended up going with The Void.
Yeah, which is a brand new release. It's only a couple weeks old.
I knew nothing about it. So I feel like, well, I won't say much about it yet. If you're going to watch The Void, maybe skip ahead a little bit, because we're just going to talk about it.
Probably.
Real quick, because it's fresh on our minds. We just got done watching it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was like the credits rolled and Nick turned on the recorder for the cast.
Yeah. So, do you, I guess, like, about this movie, director, anything like that?
Do I know anything?
Yeah.
No. I know, like, saw the trailer for it.
It just, like you said, it just came out. I'm guessing it didn't get any sort of theatrical release, did it?
If it did, it was probably like a limited type deal, limited theatrical run. Yeah, say in theaters April 7th, and it says limited right there.
Okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes score? Just curious.
73% on Rotten Tomatoes, 49% audience.
No. Yeah.
Which
I feel like
seems fair.
73 seems a little much.
That seems like I think I generally trust Rotten Tomatoes, and 73 is a little high for this movie. Just a wasted opportunity.
I mean, it's like it starts out I don't know. I don't even really need to run through the whole thing. People are trapped in a hospital.
Yeah.
And the doctor is sort of like an evil doctor doing some sort of fuckery to bring his daughter back to life using
not satanic rituals, but like old god.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like
Rituals.
Lovecraft shit,
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian. Which we've established is a thing that Nick hates. Lovecraftian, Kafka-esque,
Lynchian.
We hate those comparisons.
No, it's not the comparison. It's the Lynchian.
Lynchian.
It's Kafka-esque. It was Lovecraft-esque.
Yeah.
I don't. It was. It kind of had that feel to it. There's summoning of old beings to sort of reanimate corpses.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It doesn't. When I think about the whole movie, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's not because I wasn't paying attention. It just doesn't. He wants to bring his daughter back to life, yet he doesn't mind that she comes back as like a fucking doom monster.
Yeah.
Like a demonic looking bulldog creature
Gorilla
with hooves.
thing. And a skull face with tentacles coming out of its mouth.
I mean, the monsters were cool.
Yeah,
But the motive just doesn't match
Right.
up with what
No.
he's trying to do. It doesn't.
But then he also sacrifices like his own physical self and becomes like some weird looking like black skinned demon type guy.
Yeah.
He's like, in the basement like mutilating his own face because it's almost time for his daughter to be born again. I don't know, like the whole like I wanted to see it because, and this always fucking happens, but these movies get hyped up for me because I follow various horror pages on Facebook, and so you hear like, oh, this is like the next indie hype movie. It's not the next Conjuring or the next Insidious or Annabelle or whatever. That's like the big sort of mainstream hype. This is like, oh, this is the next big hype film for the indie market. The ones that are going to go straight to DVD and all that kind of stuff. The ones that have convention runs where they play at conventions and things. So The Void was that. It was that hype movie. It was that next big indie flick. And just like, it sucks because even in the indie genre, it's like, once again, this fucking movie just doesn't live up to all this hype that it got.
Like, the acting was good enough. I thought the cast was decent. Like I said, I enjoyed the effects in it, but as you mentioned, the lighting is really is a dark movie.
It's a very dark movie.
Like darkly shot.
Yeah.
Like they didn't supply proper lighting or
at all.
Or maybe they were going for that thing where it's like, well, we don't want to expose too much. But I feel like if you're going in this day and age to go all out on practical effects, people want to see that shit.
Exactly.
They don't want to see like shadows of it. If you know it's all there and it looks cool when you get to see it, like let's see it.
Let's see it. Just,
because it wasn't like an Alien situation where they were saving it all for the very end. Even at the very end, the lighting is still shit. They don't.
Right.
You just get flashes, but you can tell it's all there. You
Right.
can tell it was all put together.
Yeah, you can tell it was a whole like creature that they had built. That somebody was puppeting or whatever, or somebody was wearing, and they just completely fucked it up by just having this terrible lighting throughout the entire movie. And it's not one of those like, oh, it's scarier if it's left up to your imagination, because you're going through the effort of making these monsters. Like I said to you, why put in so much effort to go the practical effect route and design monsters from scratch and make things from scratch like that, and then just not fucking show it. You're like, oh, we're gonna make this giant monster, practically, and then we're just gonna stick it in the shadows, and all you're gonna see is the outline and a couple strobe flashes. Horrible. I mean, like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Either show the monster or don't ever show the monster.
So the main protagonist, who's a police officer, ends up tackling the mad doctor through his triangle portal.
Yeah, his void portal
into the void, and then the main protagonist is standing next to his wife in the void somewhere, looking at like a pyramid, and then they hold hands and the movie's over.
Yeah, just it's one of those. You could literally categorize it as a Descent into Hell movie, because it's not the only movie that has the exact same premise as that. And I just think, like, if you're gonna do a Descent into Hell movie, number one, it needs to be a long movie, and number two, you need to show instead of tell, sort of,
Yeah.
Like, once again, As Above, So Below. Great Descent into Hell movie. Excellent. I mean, it's probably, around the same time as this movie was, lengthwise, but there is a strong and constant progression through the entire movie of them descending and descending and descending, and things get weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder until, like, finally they end up in hell, and it's like fucking creepy, and there's like fucking monsters everywhere, and they get attacked, and there's just like the dude in the chair, and it's just like scary as fuck, and then they like get out of it. This movie, like, half the movie is spent setting everything up, and then you have to cram that descent into like 30 or 40 minutes, and that sounds like a lot of time, but it's not for this kind of thing. It needs to be a slow build, and have a great payoff. I wouldn't have even been mad at the end, like with them ending up in the void and everything.
Yeah.
Had the descent to the void been longer. Like,
Yeah, it was like, oh, there's a staircase. Oh, there's another staircase going down.
Oh, there's now another staircase that goes down.
Now we're in hell. We went down 2 floors. And now
like,
we're in
have
hell,
you read Dante's Inferno? There's 7 levels of hell.
Yeah. And then there are like just a few undead dudes milling about, and they blast them with shotguns, and like that's that. I mean, everything looked like it was well done, well put together. It was like, it didn't smack of a low budget horror movie.
No, not at all.
It feels like they had the capacity to do something really great, and it just kind of fell short.
Budget was $150,000.
It feels like they did a lot with that much money. You know?
No, I'm sorry. The box office, it made $150,000.
Oh, okay.
I don't have budget information. But it was directed by Jeremy Gillespie and Steven Kostanski.
And the Mad Doctor was kind of like a bargain basement Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, I was also thinking Sam Neill, Event Horizon. That's the other thing. The movie ends up just kind of being, if you've seen Event Horizon and you've seen the end of Event Horizon, that was basically what Enter the Void was. or not Enter the Void. That's a different movie. The Void
The Void.
was just. It's just unfortunate that, you know, sometimes even the indie movie scene is stale like that, and that the really popular ones or the ones that get hyped up just fall short. I mean, I was telling you that a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, there was a movie called Baskin that is almost the exact same movie as The Void. It's kind of like the precursor to The Void, but it's Turkish, and it's also about police officers, and they go to like this drug den and are looking around for like something. I can't even remember what it is, and they just sort of like, while they're looking, they sort of just like are like, oh, there's a passage that like goes downstairs or whatever, and they like go down the stairs, and then they're like, the more they look, the further into hell they get, and then there's some sort of like cult leader in the, you know, like however far down, and they get tortured and blah blah blah, like, but it's a descent into hell movie type deal, and it just falls short. It was boring. It was a boring movie. This was a boring movie. I'm not mad that we watched it.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, $1.50?
Yeah, it was $1.50. Like, I'm not pissed or anything, and I wouldn't even say it was a terrible movie. It was just boring, and I was just disappointed.
I guess you're probably more disappointed than I am because I didn't know shit about it.
Right, you had no idea.
So, I mean, going in completely blind and just, yeah, it was just like, oh, okay, well, that's not great, not horrible.
You didn't waste your evening or anything like that. It's just, you know, and a lot of times I base, like, and it's probably not even the best practice, but I'll base my impressions of a movie, like my pre-impressions of a movie, on how the community receives it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've gotten, like, I've seen just throughout the community, like, people supporting it, or like any of the various merch stores that I follow. Like, one of them has like a Void pin, and I think somebody else is putting out a Void t-shirt, and it's like, well, if you're gonna like go, if somebody is willing to make a product for this movie like that, then it must have some merit as a film.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, I wouldn't like wear a Void it's not that good of a movie.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, a couple years ago, this movie We Are Still Here came out, and it's got Barbara Crampton in it, and like, that movie, on the other hand, is an indie movie that like I really enjoy, and I've watched it a couple times, and like, Cavity Colors has a We Are Still Here t-shirt, and I really want it because I'm like, yeah, that movie is fucking sweet. But this movie, I don't think deserves that same kind of
fanfare.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just, it was okay.
Yeah, it's just okay. It's better.
But I can't imagine being like a super fan
of the Void.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, if you have nothing else to watch and you want to see at least a few gruesome scenes of people chopping up a practical monster, then, you know, you'll get that.
Yep.
As far as story goes, it's pretty
loose.
Yeah.
Or not loose, but basic. Straightforward.
Pretty basic, and not the most coherent story you'll ever get, you know. It's just kind of, it seems a little sloppy.
Yeah,
I should say. So, you know, that's our movie review for the evening.
I think it was a better choice than what was it? Vampire Forest or something.
Vampire Force might have supplied more laughs.
Yeah. Or Bigfoot the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the Eric Roberts movie that we were looking at?
God. Something about the devil's baby or demon
Was it
baby or
Child of Satan?
Child of Satan.
I
That's
think that
what
was
it
it.
was. Child of Satan,
Yeah.
which is right next to Child Eater.
Right.
Yeah. Probably better than all of those movies,
But maybe not as much fun to watch.
but maybe not as much fun to watch.
So, yeah. So as I mentioned when we first got rolling here, we're still up in Michigan, and we've been making some incredible progress on this album. It is just like flying by.
Yeah.
So,
We
I don't-
remain very ahead of schedule.
yeah, I don't know exactly when we're gonna finish up, but just know that we're making great progress and everything is sounding just, it's on a level that I knew it was going to be great, but it's entering a realm that like I wasn't necessarily expecting. It's going to be such a just smorgasbord comes to mind. It's like a buffet of different sounds. Every song has its own flavor, and it's going to be a lot of fun to listen to. I
Yeah.
can't think of anything else quite like it right now. I mean, there are tons of influences, so I don't want to give you the idea that you've never heard anything like this before. I'm just saying that it's not like the most commonplace album you're going to hear in 2017.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a lot of fun for all y'all to listen to when it comes out, and we're going to keep working hard on it. Bender is actually heading back to Ohio in the morning,
Yeah.
so by the time this goes up live, you will be back in Ohio, and I'll still be here for the weekend.
Yeah, but you've got next couple days aren't necessarily something that I'll be a part of.
Yeah, it's lots of my stuff. We've been working a lot on instrumental stuff the past this week, really, this whole week. And so tomorrow I'm going to do some more vocals and go back through and listen for ideas, fine-tuning and such. And then you'll be back up on Monday.
To do some of my vocals. You hear that, people? My vocals.
New territory for
New territory.
Mr. Bender.
Yeah. So get that figured out on Monday, and we'll see where things go.
We'll see.
It's been really fun. It's been a wonderful experience. Yeah, Josh has been great. I
Yeah.
mean, just like beyond great to work with as a producer, but also just we get along with him so well, and he's he's a good friend. So it's just been such an easy, fun, exciting experience to just hang out with him every day.
Yeah. Yesterday we even got to go out and we took a break in between two songs that we worked on yesterday. So we finished up one, and then we went out with Josh and his wife Sarah to the local farmers market.
Yep.
Picked up some goods. I got some really awesome, what are they? Chili lime, like kind of like Doritos, but they're local. Those are really good. I Had a big bag of kettle corn and some coffee, some honey sticks,
Yeah.
which I haven't tried yet.
I haven't either. I tried to open one this morning and I couldn't get it open.
That's what happened to me. I tried to bite it and it didn't work, so I just
Yeah.
put it back in my bag.
Yep. I was just like, well, fuck it. I guess I'll wait till I get home and like cut it open or some shit.
And what else do we have? Oh, the apple cider slushes. Those were
Yeah, those
wonderful.
were good. Yeah.
So if you're ever around Midland, Michigan, on Wednesday or Saturday, stop by their farmers market and have a look around. Talk to some nice people and support your local farms.
Yeah, I bought a bottle of cider, which like, I don't just saying cider. I don't know if that's to imply that there's alcohol in it, but there is alcohol in it.
Is there alcohol in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that bottle is like 6.5% or
Oh.
something.
And it was that the one that uses like 150 different types
That
of
one's
apples?
120.
120.
Yeah.
120 different types of apples have been squoze into that bottle.
Right, which is ridiculous. Like, but yeah, I was talking to the lady, and or obviously she was sort of giving me her demonstration, you know, because they had like 6 different types, and she was talking about it, and she said there were 120 apples in this bottle, and the one I tried afterwards, there were 150 types of apples in that, and I was just like, I had no idea there were that many kinds of apples. And she goes, oh yeah, there's over 7,500 different types of apple. And I'm like, how? Like, I don't even understand how that's possible. But she said that on their farm alone they grow like 5,000 kinds of apples.
It's crazy.
Nick made the comment and was just like, yeah, and we're over here just eating Red Delicious.
Yeah.
And Honeycrisp, and she, I guess, I don't know, she just rolled her eyes and was like, yeah, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's something I would expect an apple farmer to say.
Well, I guess when you become an expert, naturally you
Yeah.
tend to take a view of like the sort of
Mass
basic
market.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. It was a very interesting experience to like buy this cider directly from the farm that not only makes the cider but grows the apples and then presses them into cider. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I've never been to a farmer's market before, but it's just like a totally different world.
Yeah.
Like, those people live completely different lives than the ones we live. And there's nothing wrong with their life or anything like that. It's just that it's so different. Being a farmer is... I can't even really imagine it.
She gave you a hand-drawn map, right?
Yeah. She was like, come and see us. You know, we are... I don't think you'd call it a vineyard, but their orchard or whatever is like open on Saturdays, and you know you can go and like take tours, and then they, you know, you sample like so many different ciders and whatever. And she was like, I'm gonna put a map in your bag. So she puts a map in the bag, and I like looked at it yesterday, and it was like copied, you know, as if it had been copied, but it was a hand-drawn map. And I was like I will never be able to find this place off of this fucking map. I don't know where I am. You know? Like, just like, give me your address. Do you have a website? It's just totally different lifestyle.
Quaint.
Yeah, just like quaint, and I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. unproductive. You know, it's like all these people around that are like selling things that they fucking grew themselves, you know. It's like, look at all those, that table with all the bread.
Oh, yeah.
They probably fucking made all of that bread themselves and are selling it at the farmer's market. And
I'm
it just,
sure.
all of it looked delicious. Like, those chips, you
Yeah.
know, all those are made locally, made by people.
Yep.
Just
Made in Michigan.
so interesting.
So, let's see. What else do we got? What else is going on? I don't know.
No, that's really about it. Like,
I
there's
feel
not
it.
a lot to do. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on stuff on the computer in the evenings, and yeah, I mean, the focus has been on this album, so it's not
Yeah.
like I've been doing a whole lot else, or you have. I mean, you went back last weekend and worked.
yeah, I'm gonna do the same this weekend, and then, I mean, it's just right now we're just kind of in a routine loop.
Yeah. Just kind of in a particular zone.
It's
Just-
it's the same thing day in and day out.
And even though we're in a studio, just kind of, it's a lot of ideas being thrown around, you know?
Yeah.
Let's try this, let's try this, let's try that, and then trying stuff, and then listening to it, and then tweaking it, and it doesn't sound like, you know, it requires much exertion, but by the end of the day, mentally, you feel fairly drained.
Yeah, you're just
Like
like,
you're just ready to kind of come back to Don's residence here and just like fall on the bed, you know. Just, I could very easily go to sleep like as soon as we get back.
oh yeah.
So that's what's going on with us. Been drinking lots of coffee. Yeah. So that's about it. We're not it's going to be a kind of short one because it's fairly late, and Bender's got a big drive ahead of him tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to get back to the studio when Bender heads back home, so there's work to be done, but the big takeaway here is that this record is going to be a lot of fun to listen to. So
Yeah, it's just, you guys aren't ready for it. You're not even ready. It's gonna blow you away.
you're going to have to strap yourself into your seat and I don't know, position your chair in a way that you can still reach your mouse while you're strapped in.
What did I say earlier? Get your pants ready because you're gonna shit them.
So maybe put on a diaper.
Yeah.
Just remember that. And yeah, we'll be back next week, and probably be very, very close to the completion of the album.
Mm-hmm. At that point, yeah,
Yeah.
I would assume so.
So don't be a stranger. Hopefully that you can get by with the brevity of this episode. It's like a semi-sleepy cast, I feel.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of winding down.
Yeah, it's just like we said, we don't really have a lot going on. We've just been in the studio every day.
Yeah.
It's not really a lot to report. You know, and I don't think like this is bad at all, but like I think with just the two of us, like there's not even a lot of studio shenanigans to like report. It's just like good conversation, and
Yeah.
then we work, and then there's more, we just talk,
And any shenanigans that do go on, it's stuff that doesn't translate very well to us telling other people about it.
It's
You know,
just
it's like
they're inside shenanigans.
yeah, we watch like silly videos
That's all we do.
and then make inside jokes about them, but if you haven't seen them, it wouldn't.
It's not funny.
Yeah. So.
But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I guess I was, I think about it in the context of like watching other bands like making of their record stuff that sometimes comes with CDs and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if somebody had been filming our entire studio experience, it would just be like the most boring movie. Because like we haven't gone out, like
No.
we haven't found karaoke or anything. We haven't explored like Michigan. It's just been like, we wake up, eat breakfast, go to the studio, come home. I pretty much fall asleep when we get here, and you do your extra work with other things that have to do with the band.
Yeah.
And then you go to bed, and then we wake up and just like do it over. So
But it's when you say that, it's cool because like we're pretty down to business on this thing, It's,
right.
It's not like we're using it as an excuse to come up here and like goof off.
Right.
Though it's been a good time.
Right, we've had a lot of fun.
And I feel like our focus has allowed us to get a lot of work done in a relatively short amount of time. Whereas maybe, just think about recording as a 4-piece. There's so much more going on.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's like, okay, I'm done recording. Where did what's his name go? Where's he at right now?
Yeah.
Or the process is just completely different this time around than any other time I've recorded, or you have. It's just totally different. But it feels much smoother because of that. You reduce the number of moving parts, and the machine becomes simpler, and it's easier to stay focused, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you won't get like a bunch of studio footage of us being wild and crazy. It's like,
or even or like I said, studio footage, spliced with footage of us walking the streets of so and so city, or walking around a mall, or like goofing off together. Like, it's not that we don't do that. It's just like we haven't done that at all while we've been here, really.
Maybe we'll take the because I brought the camera.
Right.
So maybe before we leave, we can take the camera and just show. We'll just record as much as we can, just so we have it. And we can be like, okay, we weren't kidding. Here's what a day looks like. Yeah.
Maybe we can do it when when we're doing vocals, and when we're doing like, when we're switching off vocals. I'm sure we'll both be in the booth at the same time.
I mean, I took a little video.
Yeah.
I've taken some, but not a whole lot. So.
But that way, like, if we do that, we're like, it'll just be a little bit more interesting. But still, it's like one of us is in the booth and the other one is just sitting on the couch not doing anything, because what are you going to do? You're not recording vocals.
Just listen.
Just
That's
listen.
about it. Or maybe, if we have the camera or something, that you can be looking through the little glass window, and
yeah.
But how long can you do that?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll film something. It's just like cool, like when I fantasize about being in a band, or being in like a famous band or something. I just, with the way this week has gone, I just picture what like tour footage of us would be like. And I'm just like, we have a great time
Yeah.
together, and we're like best friends and all this stuff, but we just like, we don't like party or anything. Like, it's just like, we just got a pizza and rented a movie tonight. And that's like our idea of like a really good time.
But it was cool. When
Yeah,
when
it
was
was
the last
great,
time you
like-
went and rented a movie?
No, it was awesome.
was
It was
fun.
just like,
But it's not typical of what people think of when they would imagine like what a band's gonna do when they're in a different state recording.
yeah.
It's like let's go to a video store and then get a pizza and have a beer.
That's right, we did. We had one beer each.
We're just very responsible. We stay on task, and then we reward ourselves with a trip
beer.
to the video store
And a beer.
and a beer.
Yeah. That's right.
And a few bite-sized Milky
Bite-sized
Ways.
Milky Ways. Yep.
So, yep. That's how we do it.
It's gonna be us. We're gonna be that band. Other bands are gonna be on tour with us. Like, they're like, how is it touring with Superdivorce? Like, those guys are such nerds. Like, all they do is, like, I don't even know, but they just like, they'll come out and like hang out with us, but they typically only have like 1 or 2 beers, and then they're like back to their trailer for movies and pizza. Like, I don't know what their deal is.
They're not mean. They're just boring.
They're really cool guys. They just would rather play Nintendo Switch than like hang out with us.
They don't want to get drunk. They don't want to fucking, I don't know. I don't even know what bands do.
I don't know what bands do either. I feel like if we were actually on tour with other bands,
I heard
We-
Coheed was very similar though.
they just like chill out.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I
mean,
bet we would be that band that like has a real party night. Like, if we're on tour for like 3 months, maybe like once a week,
Yeah.
we like party down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or anytime we have like a day off,
Yeah.
then the night before we party down and then have a day off. But like,
See, I'm already thinking within reason though, because I don't want to be hungover on the day off. I like to be able to enjoy myself,
yeah.
and you don't want to.
Well, I don't even mean like get blackout drunk and be hungover. I just mean like you get a little tipsy
Yeah.
and go to bed early.
Reasonably
Yeah.
tipsy.
Reasonably tipsy. Like, which for me is probably 4 to 5 beers, maybe 4 beers and a mixed drink, you know,
Mhm.
and then you're like probably pretty well after that.
4 beers and a nice white wine spritzer.
Yeah. Maybe a shot, and then you're good.
Yeah.
That's partying for me. That's what I'm talking about.
And I'd still probably just like want to play games or something.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know?
just play games till you fall asleep.
What am I gonna do at a club? You know, not there to meet anyone. I'm not there to dance.
Right.
So I could just like sit at a bar in a loud place and
No, I don't know.
what's, you know, I can see the draw if you're like out and about, you're trying to hook up and shit, but for me, no, not doing that. So
Yeah.
I could go and have a drink or two at a bar, and then if the option was available, I would probably retire to my trailer and finish the rest of my drinking there,
Yeah.
and
Play
perhaps
video games.
play video games, change into, you know, some relaxing attire,
Mm-hmm.
some PJ pants, maybe a very large t-shirt of some sort, some house slippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll let you know, because it, you know, when it when it eventually happens that we are on tour on a tour bus,
We'll find out.
we'll find out. We'll let you know how it goes.
But if our premonitions are correct, it'll be very similar to what we're
Pretty
describing.
boring. But we'll put on a good live show. So.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. So that's about that. Stick around real quick and then we'll see you off here.
Yeah.
That was another program for you. And until next week, catch up with us, keep in touch with us. Check out our official website, superdivorceme.com, facebook.com/superdivorce, Twitter @superdivorce, Instagram @superdivorceband. Me, get in touch with me, holler at me on social media @NicholasVillars.
And check me out on Instagram @BenderButt.
Next week, we should have some more news on the album, so be sure to tune back in. And hope you guys have a good weekend, a good week. Until next time.
Bye, chefs.
Superdivorce.